From hairstyling to workouts, nutrition, mental health, mindset, and spirituality, today I'll be going over the beauty and self-care habits and routines that I've developed and evolved over the years. These habits and routines keep me happy, healthy, disciplined, and creative in life, and I hope you guys enjoy.
We are going to start with hair care, how I cut my hair. Probably the number one thing that I get asked about in terms of beauty in my personal life is how I do my hair. And today is finally haircut day. Before I actually go into the haircut, I'm going to be taking a shower and washing my hair and getting it wet and cutting my hair wet. Sometimes I do it dry, but I just think it'll turn out a little bit nicer if I do it wet today. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, it is super satisfying to take my hair out. That is about the length of my hair. It can be quite a lot. It doesn't look like a lot when it's in the braid, but she's everywhere. So we're gonna get this under control and finally get some of my layers properly layering. The hair wash is done. So I do always do like a wolf cut shag look with wispy bangs is pretty much what I do. And I usually do about 4 layers, but I'm gonna do a few more layers today just to see how it goes.
I start by separating my usual part, which is a middle part. Then I part the face framing layers from the top of my ear going forward. I part the hair on each side of my face and tuck the rest of my hair back with a loose clip. I take a small triangle part from the top of my forehead for my bangs. I cut this part to my eye level, then I point cut 1/4 of an inch or 0.6 centimeters upwards so the cut doesn't look so blunt.
Okay, and that's the wispy bang portion.
From the face framing part done earlier, I bring some, but not all, of the hair out on each side and join the hair from each side at the front of my head. I cut this part 1 inch or 2 below my chin. Then I point cut 1/4 of an inch or so off. Then I split the newly cut portion into 2 for each side of my face. Using my bangs as a guide for where to start, I pull the split part forward to create tension and get the hair straight. Then I gently cut downwards but across to create the layers. I do this about 3 to 5 times on each side or until it just looks nice and even.
So that's that part.
I bring the rest of the front framing hair parted in the beginning from the top of my ear forward and repeat the previous steps. Joining the hair from each side at the front of my face, cutting straight across, then point cutting upwards. I split the part into 2 for each side of my face and gently cut downwardly across, using the previous layers as a guide for where to start. I cut downwardly across about 3 to 5 times on each side or till desired.
That's it. That's the front layers, guys. All right, so we're doing the wolf cut portion of my hair, and this is where I'm gonna do something new and cut just more layers than I usually do.
I start with just trimming my longest ends. I take all of my hair and bring it to the front, then tie it together at the front top portion of my head. Then I cut just a wee bit to trim the longest layer, then I point cut upwards. It's not a lot taken off yet. I then free my hair from the scrunchy prison and part hair from the top of my ear, taking hair all around my head, using the top of the ear as a hairline guide for this part. I bring this part forward and tie it up on the top of my forehead. I cut 1 to 2 inches across, then point cut 1/4 of an inch upwards. Repeating the process, I part a new layer of hair from the end tip of my brow, or 3/4 of an inch above my ear, bring that part to the front, cut 1 to 2 inches across, then point cut 1/4 of an inch upwards. I honestly just repeat this process and keep going slightly higher up on my forehead each time from the last to gather a new part for cutting layers. The next layer is just above my brows, then the layer after that is parted from mid-forehead level. Just a note, as you go higher on your forehead to get layers, you do not need to take hair from all around your head. You can start making smaller circles around the top of your head. My last layer is parted from the top of my temple or forehead and circles a small part of the front of my head. From this last layer, I can see the guide from the front framing layers I initially cut. I cut just below those layers and then again, point cut upwards.
And now we're just gonna let it all hang out. And that is the shag. The wolf cut shagerinos. I'm going to just take this. Let me just take this, and this is the cut.
For heatless overnight curls, I use a large satin bandana and wrap my hair around the bandana, tying the ends of the bandana to make a bun. Link will be in bio for the tutorial I learned this from.
This is such a weird background, but this is like the best part of my apartment with the best lighting. But so the overnight bun went down obviously overnight, so it's been in for more than 12 hours. Let's take this down. Alright, so that is the basic look of the no heat hairstyle. I'm gonna go in and just style the face framing parts that fell out of the bun overnight. So let's say this part onwards. I'm going to properly style this so you guys can see what it looks like when this cut is styled as God intended it to be. If we must use heat, we shall use heat protectant. There are hairstyles where I don't have to go in with heat at all for my hair, but this one just fell apart in my sleep and during the day. So it is what it is. I try to minimize heat if I can. Non sono perfetta. Okay, so those parts are done. We're going to now style my bangs. Take this part and curl, but bring it outwards. Curl, bring it outwards. There you go. And we are going to curl and bring it outwards again. Then we take this piece and we curl it away from the face. Bring it that way. Very nice, very nice. We're gonna take this part of the bang, curl it towards the face, but move it. Whoa, it's supposed to be outwards. I guess it is. And that is the front. I'll put the hair down and I'll show you guys what it's supposed to look like all in all. Oops, I messed up my bangs. This is what happens. I think it looks pretty cute. New hairstyle, who it is. And that is the hair tee. Alright, so now that the hair is done and I've showed you guys that, some more basic tips about hair care. Again, as I said, minimize heat. So I just try not to blow dry. I pretty much air dry every time unless I'm in the rush. I do occasionally style the front part of my bangs. Like, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, minimize heat. I personally only wash my hair about 1 to 2 times a week. I do the rice rinse bi-weekly, so when I can, I'll do it once every 2 weeks. But I do massage my hair with castor oil once a week. So actually, technically, I really wash my hair about twice a week, but there are times where I will only wash it once a week. But generally speaking, before I shower, for the beginning of the week, I'll massage my hair with castor oil. So that's it. My hair care tips. Trim it every now and again, but don't trim too much. I get questions about how you grow long hair. And if you're like me and had trauma from 50 years ago from going into the hair salon and you vowed to never cut your hair ever again, unless it was yourself doing it, then it's pretty easy. I just let my hair grow and didn't really touch it unless I was trimming it. And then I started actually cutting it. So I had one length for 12 years up until COVID. And then I finally got some kitchen scissors and gave myself some layers. So there you go, how to grow long hair. Do the least and it does the most. It is 3 in the morning and I just got home a little while ago from hanging out with my friends, but nonetheless, we continue with skincare. I use micellar water to take my makeup off and just clean my face. My skincare routine is so simple. Treat your neck just like your face. So this is castor oil that I got from Morocco. So I've had it for 2 years now and it's about this much left. But I use this for my eyelash and kind of like a eye serum, eye cream thing. I just find that it helps my lashes in their integrity and their growth. So I don't know, can you guys see my lashes? I mean, I don't have crazy long lashes, but they're definitely stronger and my lash line is quite strong even though they're not long. So I use this and I direct and apply the castor oil downwards, and I go downwards so that I push the oil onto the lashes and just avoid getting oil buildup into my lash line and giving me size. I use Paula's Choice 1% retinol, so we're just gonna put this retinol on. After about 20 to 30 minutes of just letting the retinol do its thing on my face and kind of just sink in, I put on moisturizer. I really do like the Palmer's base oil. It has retinol and vitamin C in it. It's a little bit hard to get in stores. Currently, I'm just using basic ass Nivea cream. I have dry Asian skin, so this just works well for me. And then in the morning, I honestly just use like 15 SPF in the winter. Sometimes I'll use like a moisturizer and then put like a 50 SPF on my face, but that's really just my AM routine. Honestly, the best skincare tip that I have learned over the years is that good skin comes from within, as in eating well. Diet for me is the #1 thing that keeps my skin in check. That just brings me to my next beauty, self-care, and health routine and habit, which is nutrition. I'm putting nutrition and diet as self-care habits and routines because I personally have had to improve the way I eat and the habits that I had around food and all of that in order to improve my health in general, mentally and physically. I would consider my diet, all in all, still plant-based. So I was vegetarian for 12 years until I went to Japan last year, and then I started eating fish, and now I'm a pescatarian. But even then, 90-80% of my diet is plant-based foods. Overall, I follow the 80-20 rule. 80% like just healthy quality diet with veggies, greens, protein. So that's my 80% of the diet with greens, and then 20%, 15 to 20%, I'm not gonna lie, I will indulge in something sweet and delicious and chips and all of that, and that's okay because I had to clear all of these stomach issues, digestive issues, skin issues, and like eating disorder issues. I've had to go through the full circle of so much change in my relationship with food that now all I really care about is making sure that I'm eating healthy and well, and not always eating junk food, but I do allow it in my diet every now and again, because what is the beauty of life without a little bit of indulgence? Supplements are also part of my, I guess, physical self-care. The supplements that I take are probiotics. If you have IBS, get on that. That is the one, like, all other holy grail besides diet that has helped me heal my gut, so, and my mental health. I'm not even joking, you guys. The way you eat regulates your hormones so much, and your hormones play into how you feel and all of that, and your stomach is pretty much and essentially your second brain. So just making sure you have a healthy gut flora is very good. So the 4 main ones that I would really advocate for are probiotics, omega-3s, zinc, and vitamin D. Lastly, working out or moving my body, more specifically, because moving my body does not always just mean working out. It could be going for a walk. Because of how busy I've been recently with projects and how much I want to dedicate to my personal projects, like in art and filming and I have a podcast and all of that, I've changed my mode of working out to at-home workouts. I've always been in and out of the gym, but when I'm in a busy place, I still don't like to give up working out because I personally enjoy it. And if you're a person who works out consistently and you miss a workout, it feels pretty bad. So I'm pretty good at working out 5 to 6 days a week. 5 of those days being like a HIIT workout, so they're like 30 minutes a day. With resistant bands and just working out usually my legs and my core. And then 1 day a week I will do yoga and stretching, or I'll just go out for a walk, something that is like low intensity. I just want to feel good inside my body, and moving it just in any way that I enjoy is good enough for me. Now we get into my favorite part, and this part I feel like it just goes off because mental health, mindset, and spirituality are things that I've had to seriously develop to help clear and heal so much of the inner workings that have made me. I'm someone who has had clinical suicidal levels of depression for pretty much a decade, starting from my early teenagehood, spanning to my early 20s, and having moved from a place of intense suicidal depression to now feeling genuine love and light within myself. It has been a journey, and it's ever evolving. Okay, I have these practices and these habits in check so that I am continuing on this trajectory that I've built for myself, so that I don't fall into the previous habits that made me spiral into such dark places that I genuinely did not think I would survive them. I'll say that my mental health is pretty good right now in general, but like things happen and I can still feel sadness. Even though I'm a generally pretty happy-go-lucky gal now, I can still be affected. I just have the tools and better know how to get myself out of ruts now. And I'm here to share at least my personal anecdotes of how I'm keeping myself in check now with my mental health. Good habits for mental health that I'm going to be talking about today essentially include moving my body. Again, I just don't bed rot like I used to as a teenager and let myself ferment in these negative thoughts. I'm much more action and healing orientated now. I allow myself to feel how I feel, but eventually once that feeling no longer serves me and I've taken my lessons from it, I just do something about it. So I move my body, I do something, I go into my therapeutic practices, which also include just like exercising, being creative and all of that. Journaling and reflecting. So I love writing. Scripting right now for even these videos is a form of meditative writing for me. Now I have a private journal that I keep, and I also write my daily thoughts in Notion just to kind of keep track of how I'm feeling. Last week I was feeling overwhelmed by how hard I was going with some of the projects, which is why I did the soft discipline video, just to like recalibrate myself to a level of action orientation that is manageable. But with that, I had to write a lot and figure out what I needed for myself at the moment to do. And then I figure out, okay, I still want to achieve these things, but I need soft discipline. So reflecting and journaling has been a godsend. Eating well. I'm not going to keep going over this, but mental health check for your digestion. I'm going to be that girl, and I know this isn't for everyone, but meditation. Just 5 to 10 minutes a day, being either silent meditation or meditation with a guide. So because I'm really into language learning, I've been doing like French or Italian guided meditations just so I can, have some moments to be immersed in that language. But that's my personal thing. The most important thing that meditation has done for me is it has allowed me to become more of an observer of my thoughts rather than absorbing my thoughts. I've become a better observer of my thoughts, of what is valid and what is not, what is serving me and what is not, instead of absorbing every single thought and running with it and allowing it to integrate into how I truly feel, because thoughts and feelings, they come and go. But as long as I can monitor them and understand them, I can mediate that consciously. Really, whatever is meditative for you, as long as it helps you shake the impulses and get to a place of focus and intentionality, that's all that really matters with meditation. If your form of meditation is running, shit, go run. If your form of meditation is pottery or making music, go off in your art and your meditation forms. And then there is building and maintaining my connections. I realized that after a while, if I'm too alone with myself and it's not really going anywhere and I need to get out of my freaking head, I lean into my relationships platonic, romantic, familial, all of those things, and I choose to just build and connect with them and live vicariously through them, because I realize that I'm not an island and I don't have to go through life alone. I used to be the person that did not want to ask for help ever, and you know where that took me? To the pits of emotional hell. Now I know that there's so much strength and vulnerability and leaning into my relationships when I need to. Now I feel like I have the internal strength enough so that a lot of people lean on me. Does not help that I have a psych degree and a lot of people want me to psychoanalyze them, but I can only do so much, and then you have to figure it out yourself, but I can definitely be an open ear for you, and then people do the same for me, and it's just a beautiful social dance of love and intimacy and caring for each other. And I love my friends and my community, and people, like-minded people who I get to share the experience of this life with. I share my life with people, and I am not an island, and it is beautiful. Less screen time. That FOMO that you get when you're not on your phone. Why? It does not serve me. There are so many more things that I'd rather be doing than being stuck on my phone. I usually don't go on social media for the first hour of the day at least. I'm literally always just working out, meditating, or doing my Duolingo. Like, I just won't touch social media. Everything else is just like too much stimulation for your brain the first hour of your day, or for the first part of your day, and I just want to start off with a clear blank slate so I can figure out what I need to do for the day. And there's a time and place for social media, but it isn't always and constantly. So I'll be sharing some mindset mantras that I think about routinely. Some of my favorite mantras and expressions of self-care to strengthen my mindset include: I am capable of anything. I show up as my idealized self and embody her daily. This is not really like a mantra, but it is definitely a mindset thing. But how you talk to yourself matters. So I am humble, I try to be, and I can be very aware of my imperfections. But I don't allow them to be my complete shortcomings, and I don't make them as an excuse. So instead, I acknowledge my imperfections. I come to peace and to terms with them, but I focus on what I have to offer and what I can do best in this world and for myself. Being open to learning. People from all walks of life have experienced so many things that I can learn something from everyone. And having that mindset has helped me become so open and receptive to connections and new strengths and just new insights that have been super useful to me. So I like to keep that in mind, that I am an open learner. Detachment, super important. Detachment for me really just means letting go of what I can control and focusing on what I can control. When I find myself being too attached to certain outcomes, I can quickly learn how to detach and like pivot from there. And I want to just enjoy the serendipity of life as it unfolds is another thing that I've learned. But through that, detachment is something that you have to practice. It's an actual practice. Without detachment in my life, I couldn't have manifested the things that I have. Like I never had any fixed idea of where I would be or where I would go. I had general ideas and places that I wanted to be and check out and travel to, but the path and how I would get there, I was never super secure about. I've had so many jobs, I've tried so many careers, I've studied so many things, and all of it has just led to what I feel now is a pretty beautiful life. Like I could die tomorrow and I'd be a happy person, is pretty much what I'm saying. And with that, I just never had like a super fixed agenda. I mean, now I have a little bit of more clarity of things that I want to do and things that I want to achieve. But with that, I'm not super attached to the process of how I'm going to get there. I kind of just let the creativity of life flow and detach from any particular trajectory unless I feel called to it. But detachment in the sense that I will only focus on what I can control for myself and will not mind or stress myself about the things that I cannot control or change, because I can only control and change myself. And that's the detachment T. Overall, and I love this framework of mindset because it just encapsulates everything that I've embodied slowly throughout the years. And I just learned about this mindset like in the last year. But essentially from like when I was a teenager to now, I've moved my mindset from a victim, egoic mindset to an abundant and higher self mindset. I'm going to post the little pictograph that I made the other day that I put in my Notion. I made it for myself, but I'm just going to post it here to get give clarity on what a scarcity or an egoic mindset versus an abundance and higher self mindset is. And you can kind of just draw the parallels of where mindset shifts can be healthily made. My spiritual practices are ones that help me on the path of understanding deeper meanings, connections, and higher truths in the universe, and values I can derive from such understanding to help both myself and others in their evolution, whatever that means to them. So with that, my spiritual practices include things like connecting to the earth, doing silly things like hugging a tree and getting its energy, and perceiving its energy and feeling it intimately is super important for me. Swimming, just connection to the earth, being of service to others. This is my way to connect to being around me, and I love it. I didn't want to share this, but I've recently been talking to a friend about merit increasing. But the premise is that when you share your merits, it actually increases the merits of others. So I've kind of experienced this before. So for my birthday, and I like to attribute this because my birthday is in between Christmas and New Year's. So I love this spirit of giving. So for my birthday, instead of having my friends give me gifts and all of that, although they always do, and I'm like, you're the gift. You are the gift. For the last 2 years, I've been asking my friends to make sandwiches with me, and then we distribute it to underserved areas in my city. So one of my friends participated in the distribution of the food, and he told his mom about it, and she got so inspired that a few months later they did the same thing. And I was just like, I love that. Please continue to do this. Like, we can just continue to feed each other, like physically, spiritually, and all of that. Like, yes, I love that she took that same idea and just like ran with it too. I hope more people do. I want to make my life being of service, pretty much in the long run. Yeah, through my art, through my work, to actual work in the community, whatever it is, being of service is very important to me and is a practice that I implement in my life. Even doing it in small ways, helping my friends when they move. I'm glad to. Cooking for my family, things like that. It doesn't have to be crazy big, but just making sure that you incorporate these things of selflessness often. Meditation, my way of connecting to my senses and perceiving the everythingness around me. That's all I'm gonna say about meditation and spirituality. Lastly, gratitude practice. My gratitude practice is very important for me to just remind myself of the good in this world. So I do run a podcast in French, and I always link it in the description below, but through this podcast and even through my journaling, I have a segment that is like expression of gratitude, and I talk about what I'm grateful for the week. I try to list at least 3 things. They can range from being super big to small. Like last week I was thankful for Notion for organizing my life. This week I am grateful for the energy that I have to share this, and like it just came to me, and it's so therapeutic for me. So even having this medium, I'm super thankful for. My partner made me really nice delicious matcha in the morning, and he does that consistently, and I'm super thankful for that because it's so thoughtful. So it doesn't always have to be big, they can be small, but I'm grateful for them evermore. So my gratitude practice just keeps me so content and thankful, and I don't know, something about being grateful. It just raises your vibration and keeps you at a state of like ease and contentment with the experience of life. Just reminding myself consistently and routinely of what I am grateful for is what keeps me sane. I hope this was a useful video for anyone today. I personally enjoyed it. Super therapeutic. I am in a better mood now. But yeah, hope to see you guys in the next video.